What's up, beautiful, beautiful souls? Welcome to another episode of the Spiritual Psychiatrist Podcast. I am your host. Today, we have a very, very special guest, Mr. Daniel Lee. And I'm really, really excited to delve into today's topic, fasting. And so I believe that, when I was a little kid, I would read about Jesus would go into the wilderness and he fasted 40 days. All of a sudden, he came back and the miracles started to flow. Moses, before his ministry, fasted. Abraham, before things started to happen, and fasted. And today's guest, Daniel, has created a product which he doesn't pay me, but I tell everybody about it. Because when I find something that I'm a firm believer in, I tell people about it. And so I believe that just like there's cycles in Earth, there's cycles in human kind of improvement. Yeah. And, there was breathwork was very, 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 very popular for a while. And I believe that we're coming into this new kind of era where GI health, people are realizing, is super important. And so there's nothing more exciting than the right idea, the right product at the right time for humanity. And I love also the intention behind the product. And, we're going to delve into this beautiful, amazing product, as well as the history behind it, as well as a little bit about fasting, because Daniel has been fasting for a long time, for decades. And so I'm really excited to delve into this. But also, Daniel is a Qigong master. So would like to introduce our brother Daniel to the show. And Daniel, before we dive into it, is there any kind of like a calm breath you can guide us into to regulate into and kind of flow into this episode?
We could, but I think I don't want to put you to sleep. So I think we're going to do something more dynamic,
Sounds good. Yeah.
Like will bring us into presence more than just calming us up. So probably your audience know about abdominal breathing, right? So it's just, I would say, if you want me to guide something, just cover your abdomen like this with your hands like this, and when you inhale, bring your abdomen out. When you exhale, push it in. Inhale, out. Exhale, push it in. Inhale out and push it in. And now we're going to speed this up in. Take a deep one in and hold it. Hold it. You can even contract your perineum, your anus. Hold it. Take a little bit more in. And release.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So you feel already like maybe a little calmer. That was the goal on one side, but also at the same time not tired and very present. Daniel. By the way, yeah. Samuel, the OX at the end of my name is not a hug and a kiss. It's part of my name. Daniel Lee Ox.
Thanks for pointing that out.
I still offer you a hug.
Yeah, add an ox to it, everybody. Add an ox to
it.
Yeah.
Actually, it comes from a Chinese name I've been given from a master, is Linyo. Linyo means like kind of a power buffalo. It's kind of a, yeah.
Mm. So
Gave
it
me
kind
this
of
name
has
because there's too
it's
many
like almost
Daniels.
like a buffalo in English. So it's almost like translated
That's it.
from a power buffalo into the ox. Medicine
Yes,
of
I just changed it so it's more understandable internationally, yeah,
the.
than yeah.
Okay,
So,
Daniel Lee
so
House, everybody. DLO,
yes,
DLO in the house today.
yes, dear.
Leading us off with that breath. Now, I just want to linger on that breath a little bit because I've noticed a lot of breathing masters back in the day. Some of these breathing techniques were not even allowed to be shared with the public. And I always tell my audience it's perhaps one of the greatest times to be alive if you're into spirituality as a human being. Can you tell us a little bit about the Dantian and what this breath, the
Yeah.
correlation of the Dantian and this breath?
Well, just the breath to start with, the breath is our way to exchange with the external world, right? It's the mean that we have, that life has. Life is compared to breath in many, many languages, right? So the inhale is about taking life
Yeah.
in.
Mhm.
And sometimes some people have more or less inhale, so that expresses their ability to take more or less life in. And the exhale is about allowing ourselves to surrender or letting ourselves go and trusting life. So some people have more or less ability to exhale deeply. So I think seen in this way, breathing becomes interesting because just by choosing to breathe, inhale more deeply, we
Mhm.
take more life in, we take more inspiration in, we take more information coming from the outside in. And by learning and cultivating the depth of our exhale allows us to give back more, to surrender more. So, which is convenient tool because how can I surrender more? How can I take more life in if it's just at the mental level? Is difficult. I can think about this. I want to take more life in, and at the same time, I don't breathe. So, but if you just use the breath, that you think about it or not, it will happen. It's just the way that is given to a human to interact. The give and take is there.
Mhm.
The give and the take is happening in the breathing. You don't need to think more than this. You don't need to understand. You don't even need to be intelligent.
Mm.
So it's so convenient.
Mm.
It was for me.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
love that. So the inhale is taking life in,
Yes.
the exhale is giving back to life
Yeah.
as well as
Letting
surrendering
go.
and letting
Yeah.
go and releasing.
Trusting,
Mm, and in order to
surrendering,
massively
trusting.
give, we must massively receive. Therefore,
Yeah.
the inhale and the
Yeah.
exhale. And I've heard in certain sciences that when you exhale is 2 times as long as the inhale, it
Mm-hmm.
activates the vagus nerve, which
Mm-hmm.
activates the parasympathetic
Mm-hmm.
nervous system. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Can be.
so, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've practiced the 4-8 breath for a long time in my early days. But this particular breath, I know you said it's going to bring us into presence. And I think back in the day, there was a lot of masters who would focus on the third chakra, perhaps the Dantian. Can you talk to us a little bit about this area?
Well, the Dantian, there's three Dantian, for example. We call also the three treasures
Mm,
in Taoism. There's the lower Dantian, the middle Dantian, which is in the heart area, and the upper Dantian, which is in the part of the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, the central
mhm,
brain, right? These are the three Dantian, and they actually represent a very specific aspect of our tri-essence being,
mm,
you know like
mm,
the lower dantian, cultivating why we in the practices, in the basic practices of pretty much many traditions. It's one of the first thing, learning abdominal breathing and bringing our awareness in the lower dantian, It's because first it removes the mind out of the way. It brings more presence.
Mm.
But there's a second effect to that, and it's for the lower dantian. It can be understood as the battery of a human being. It's where we accumulate
Mm.
the energy. So the more energy you have in the lower dantian, the more vitality you have.
Mm.
Okay, and it's also grounding. It's grounding. Before we develop the other dantian, we are taught by the masters to develop this one first. So it's not like ungrounding us and becoming like, before getting enlightened, we need to get grounded. We need to anchor ourselves so we don't make our mama cry, It's like this is very important. It's just like, oh my God, what happened to my son? It's oh, God. Now, so you just bring your anchor in there, and then you still can talk to your friends, and they will still accept what you're sharing with them. So this is an anchor, and at the same time is a way to stay young. In a way, is a way to stay young. If you look at a baby or a kid, they all have a belly, right?
Mm.
Because and then they're very, very present. They have an amazing presence, and they're very sensitive. They
Mhm.
feel everything, yeah, because they're not thinking too much. They're really anchored into their abdomen, and I would
Mhm.
say even in their genitals. They're very horny for everything. They're horny for everything. They know what they want. They don't need a sabbatical to know what
Mhm.
they want to do. They want ice cream. They want to sleep over to their friends. They want to play at the park. They want to, they make a list. When you ask them, they really know what they want. They want to do, and they develop. They don't care so much about you at that time, and it's right. It's
That's
only
right.
later that we develop after puberty. We develop the heart area when we
Mm.
kind of start falling in love and have
Mm.
being attracted, including and try to get love and give love, and it's opening is kind of a rising of the energy center to the
Mhm.
heart area, and later it becomes more in the spiritual, or the worries, or so if you look
Mhm.
at the grounding of how we age, at the end we become like a big walking heads, like this, because it's this center that has risen without having kept contact with the lower dantian. So it's
Mhm.
very important when you practice Qigong to never lose track, never lose your lower dantian. So
Mhm.
this way you can integrate the heart and the dreams and the abstract concepts without being ungrounded.
Mhm.
And without losing your energy, because the brain is one of the most expensive energy wise organ, right?
Yeah.
With the digestive system. So yeah, this is briefly, I would say the dantian is definitely, and it goes deeper than this, of course, is the cultivation of the golden embryo, where that,
Mhm.
but this is the advanced Taoist alchemy, for example. But
Mhm.
the basically like this, there's a very basic and important applications of
Mhm.
cultivating and getting in touch with this immaterial space, which is somewhere behind the navel and in front of the lower spine,
Mhm.
somewhere in that area, cultivating the energy there, and it's
Mhm.
um, it's really beneficial.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so I hope you guys track that. He just explained some of the science behind this breath, some of the wisdom behind this breath is in the beginning, he led us into this breath where we were inhaling through the belly, and right there, the battery he was speaking of was being charged in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and you're charging the battery, which is going to ground you. And if you look at little babies, this is how they're breathing. You'll see their belly always rising, always rising. They're grounded, and this is why they are very, very, very present. But at the end there, Daniel also had some of us squeeze the lower perineum, and that when the pressure pushes the energy up the throne, if you want to call it the spine, from the lower, you just created the energy, and now you're shooting it up into, and at the bottom of the tailbone, there's the Kundalini energies, or the first 8 primal cells, which is also dimensions 1 through 9. And he's having us squeeze it up to tickle our third eye, our pineal pituitary gland. So literally, if you want to call it the upper dantian, and then through the heart, which hopefully is open, so the energy can flow through freely. So even just by mastering that one breath, it will serve you, because there's some wisdom says that we have to return to being like little children, and that has to do with the breath as well. And so breathing into the belly and being grounded, knowing what we want, and really not giving a shit what other people think about us, right? All of these things, and it has to do with how we breathe. So Daniel just guided us beautifully through that breath. So thank you. Also wanted to kind of now just transition. I know this is, I believe, going to be such an important topic, and I feel like it's coming at the right time. Daniel, can you walk us through? I know I believe last time we spoke, you've been fasting for over, I believe, if I heard correctly, 3 decades. Can you walk us a little bit through? I know this is not your first time around on this planet, but at the same time, kind of what led your hero's journey into this fasting, some of the key points of your hero's journey, and how you found fasting.
Actually, I was not in the trajectory of health in my younger age. I graduated from film school. Although I was a long distance swimmer, so I was an athlete like this, but I had no notion of health. I'm 63, so I born in right with the coming of the fast food and the processed food in the Western world. In America, I'm Canadian, so it's same thing, the AW and McDonald's and canned food and cakes that can stay 3 weeks on the counter, still soft. I just grew up with this. Very early in the beginning of my 20s, I started to feel the effect of that. So first, in my diet there was a lot of milk, there was a lot of everything. I knew nothing about cooking, and I was like buying things already made, and so very by being very in touch with my body because of the swimming, I was very aware of what was going on inside my body, I guess, if we compare. And for me, when I started to have like some discomfort in my spine, and for me, it was very dramatic. It was not like, oh, it will pass. Now, for me, it's never been like this. It was like, what's that? And what will I look like when I'm 50? I'm kind of more like on the dramatic side on that. I don't take little discomfort lightly. I just don't accept. I want to understand it. And I always been like this. And so with this discomfort in my back has been the greatest gift that ever happened in my life, I think, because it may put on a quest of understanding what was going on, and what was going on was deep. What was going on was beyond just the diet. It led me to my emotions, to my way of thinking, to my deepest shadows inside it, really. So I'm very grateful for that back pain that occurred. And so fasting came pretty much all together. At first For my back, I walked in front of a Zen dojo, I remember, in Montreal, where there was all these bald people in a black robe sitting very straight in front of a wall. And I say, oh, that should be good for my back, you know. And I entered, and I asked if I could join, and they gave me an appointment to teach me how to behave in the dojo. And I was there, and for 7 years I was I was dedicated, to
Wow.
the point that I got ordained as a Zen monk at some point. And then I was in my 20s. I was in the film, but I was not like having lots of income, and all the people, all the doctors, the chiropractor, osteopath, and everyone I was consulting to help me were actually giving me an endless series of appointments, and I I could not figure out how I could afford all this.
Mhm.
And at some point, I looked into the yellow pages at this time, and I found a Chinese medicine school, and I
Mhm.
called, and it was affordable, and I just signed up. Just I knew that all my teachers would be doctors, so I signed up. It was because it was cheaper, you know. I didn't have the I didn't have the intention of becoming. First, in the 80s, traditional Chinese medicine was not like part of the options to make a career. You know,
Sure,
it was a
sure.
weird thing. So, but I didn't care because I didn't want to make a career with that. I just wanted to learn and have my questions answered, and so that was one thing. And then the other thing is, like, when I got into this realm of people a little bit weird in my world, you know, they were introducing me to all kinds of things, you know, all kinds of things: astrology, chiropractic, you know, like nutrition and tofu, and you know, all this. I knew nothing about it, but I was open and fascinated. And I ended up like with a book from
Mhm.
Dr. Herbert Shelton
Yeah.
about fasting, you know. And I read that book, and it was really revealing. Is like I just devoured that book, and as soon as I finished, I was like, I can't wait. I just need to go fast. I just can't wait. You know, it's like it
Mhm.
was like miraculous. It was so well explained. I could understand. It made sense. You know, there was like some research, some results. Everything was so attractive to me, and unbelievably, there was one about 3 hours drive from a center, a hygienist center in Quebec, in the countryside somewhere. So I just called out of my excitement, and I signed up for 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So it was water fasting. Yeah, I regretted it. It's like, you know, I thought I was overly enthusiastic. You know, it was tough. It was tough, but at the same time, yeah, I was unexpectedly tough.
Mhm.
It was like real tough, you know,
Mhm.
like I was
Mhm.
so toxic. I was so toxic. I had
Mhm.
like reflux for, you know, over a week, night and day. I had a very bad skin. My skin was peeling. I had an
Mhm.
eye that I was like, you know, like needed glasses, and at
Mhm.
some point, like, started like I felt like it was completely blurred, and it's as if someone
Wow.
was squeezing it. There was very harsh healing crisis happening. But when I came out 3 weeks later, you know, even if I was young, you know, like I was
Mhm.
like maybe 26, 27, you
Yeah.
know, my friends were saying, you know, wow, you look good. You know, it's like your
Cool.
eyes, and there's something that happened. I was first, you know,
Mhm.
after 3 weeks, it's like everything falls into place. You know, sometimes we're just like, oh, hyper, and you know, there's a mask there, but you know, everything was down. I
Mhm.
was peaceful and all this. And for me, from inside, I really felt like it was an amazing experience.
I want to just right there. So there's a lot of people out there. So for example, you were growing up in that era where you were, they were giving you canned food, they were giving you all these different things, cake that lasts on the counter for a month and nothing, what chemicals was. So these things were likely in the society. And even today, this is still going on. So there's a lot of people. I just posted a fasting video on my Instagram. It has over 300,000 views, who are asking me, okay, you just went right into it. You were enthusiastic. You read the book and you went right into it, and it was tough. And I would love for you to explain what happened in your model, like in looking back at it, what was happening with your eye and all these different things. And then also, can you recommend for those people who might be listening to this, how to ease into it? Or do you recommend just going straight into a 3-week water fast for most people who might be toxic, living the normal life? Or is there
Mm.
something else that you would recommend for them to ease into?
Yeah, I don't know if there's an easy way with water fasting. I
Mhm.
think it corresponds to a certain type of person. For for me, as a sport person,
Mm.
I kind of enjoy go
Mhm.
breaking through, breaking
Yeah.
through the second breath and breaking through difficulties. And the same thing with meditation. If you've ever has anybody of your audience ever practiced meditation in a context where you cannot move, like in a Zen dojo, it's like you
Mm.
think your legs would need to be cut off
Mm.
after, it's like there's and also all the madness of the mind that you get to witness and all this. Some people cannot, or at least don't like to face that, and don't like to, they'd rather not go there. So I think that it's the same that applies to water fasting. To water fasting is right in your face. Is like there's no exit, and it's highly beneficial. It's highly beneficial because there's all kinds of chemistry happening when you engage into that the body heal itself in many ways. It's like I will not get into the detail of the science in it, but there's a lot of literature on it, and it's the fast lane. It's the
Mm.
fast lane of healing. And so after that experience, for me, is like that was it. Is like with a guy like me, is like I
Mm.
was religious twice a year at
Mhm.
least, plus a lot of little 3 days and 4 days here, and I was mad at it. And I also tried all kinds of other, everything that had to do with cleansing and detoxing. I was trying it, and I
Mm.
was always coming back to the water fasting because I really thought that's the best. That's the fastest, the deepest, and for me, it became like easier and easier. I did 5 times 1 month, and I was teaching at the same time. I was like, working and not really working like hard, because you still, when you do that, you want to get into the parasympathetic mode. You don't want to push it. You just want to relax and deepen your level of relaxation and restorative modes, right? So, but I was not meeting much healing crisis at the end. I almost fasted over 800 days in my life. I really got into it. I have a lot of experience, and I'm so happy I did it. I'm so happy. I feel it now
So,
at being in my 60s. I don't know what I would look like if I wouldn't have done it. Yeah.
so, and I am a testament of this. I just found water only fasting about last year, right before I was about to go to Davos, Switzerland. I did a 2-week water fast, and I was at this center called True North Water Fasting. And literally, there's people doing, and they monitor you for 30 to 40 days. Some people were doing 40 days, and literally, they were having abdominal pain from their lymphoma gone. They were having, all different, their hypertension, diabetes gone. And for me, it was not easy, but on a certain day, I did start feeling more clear. That's how I started this podcast. And so I think if you're listening, I think if I'm interpreting correctly, Daniel saying water, he tried many, many, many different types of water fasting. I'm sorry, different types of cleanses, but he came back to water fasting and he said it's the fast lane, and the body will heal itself if you leave it alone and you just drink water. And it might not be for everybody, but it seems like that if you want to go on the fast lane and you want to heal and you want to know your, I guess, I don't know what the right word is, your optimized level of physicality, but not only physicality, spirituality as well. I wanted to ask you this, Daniel, because I mean, in religious texts, they say something about, like Jesus fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and all of a sudden he comes back from the desert, and this guy knows how to turn water into wine and things like this. And so I know physically, hypertension, diabetes, for you, the eyesight, probably all that 1 month old cake and whatever was in that is being kind of like, cleansed out of the system just by leaving it alone and drinking water. But what is there any spiritual, have you noticed in your 800 days of fasting any type of spiritual connection to fasting as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, I still need to buy my wine. I still need to buy my
Yeah,
wine.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't get there after 5 times.
We'll try it
But
next time.
the spiritual experience, I sometimes we look too much into it and try to figure out and try to see the color purple and having this kind of thing. I think
Yeah.
what happens is the process is much more subtle. I think it's built in, and every human, more or less at a moment or another, we touch it and we don't know, and it looks so natural because it's just happening like that. And then when we talk about spirituality, we start to look for something outside of this, and actually it's built in. Like the
Mm,
more the more you cleanse, the more you also energize the different layers of your being. uh the more you start having experiences that are deeply spiritual, but they're just natural. They're just like you don't see the difference. It's like, like the enlightenment process is actually a painful process because you just start to know more what people think about you. And this is terrible. At first you gotta go through a process through that
yeah.
to kind of there's it's a progressive things, but it actually at the same time it's very natural. We can have like some experiences that will speed up the process, and but they will bring you back where you were first, so they kind of open you up, and then you can see the
Mm,
potential. One suddenly all your past lives and all things that happen and the reason why, and then when you come back where you were.
mm,
You just know that there's more to it,
mm,
and then it motivates you. But the whole process when you walk the journey, it's very natural. It's not nothing so spectacular. It may, or maybe I don't know nothing. Maybe I don't know anything about it. Also, that's another option. That's also possible. But spirituality is just a journey back home. It's just something. Actually, it's more a detox process.
mm.
Clear up all
Yes.
the conditioning, the programming, the toxicity of body, mind, spirit toxicity that covers up that spiritual being, that born into a body at one point in
Mhm.
time, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that this whole process of ascension in is just a matter of frequency and rising the frequency, and this is nothing like we need to seek outside of ourselves. This
Mhm.
is all something that is happening within. It's all happening within. We don't need to imagine what it is to be spiritual. We don't need to create a superhuman, you
Mhm.
know. We just need to reveal it. We don't need to uncover it. And this is my humble experience of progressing and touching and one step forward, two step
Yeah.
backward, and you know, it's this is my
Yeah, I love that.
understanding.
And so spirituality is a detox process of just removing all of the barriers and all of the toxins and all of the, program beliefs or whatever not, that we might have been programmed from when we're a little child, and then coming back to that belly breath and being, and then even after, and then the process of figuring out the subtle energies, oh, what these people really think about. Oh, okay. And then after that though, you come back and you're the same person, and you chop wood, carry water. So I love that. And then, so Daniel, walk us through. You were a long distance swimmer. You read this book. You went into Chinese medicine, and the universe was guiding you. And then how did the formation of Zen? And then you did your 7 years, even ordained as a Buddhist monk. And that's one cycle of life, really, in this life. And then all of a sudden, can you lead us and guide us into how Zencleanz was formed? And I just want to give a prelude to this because, guys, I tried. Yeah, there's a lot of different cleanses out there for me personally. There was Andrea Moritz, there was, all these things on Amazon. But when I found this one for me personally, um I don't know how to say it. I was like, okay, let me try it. And I tried it and I said, oh, this is it for me. For me personally, I was like, this is it. And it works and it's effective. And some of them you can do in one day, and you can just feel the intention behind the product. So for me personally, this was the one. And then cleansing, as Daniel said, is spirituality in a sense can be about cleansing all that is not, so that you can just be. And so, Daniel, can you walk us into how Zencleanz was formed?
Yeah. Well, that's a long leap. Okay. So from the,
Sure.
so I was a
Oh yeah, we talked
bodhisattva. So I never lived in the temple. I was like the ordained bodhisattva, launched free in society, a pretty,
yeah.
a little bit rebellious type of personality. A big leap. So I accumulated these years of fasting and also clinical practice of traditional Chinese medicine. And by combining both of them, I knew with most of my clients, my patients, I would say if they were cleansing, they would not need me. You know, many people, it's like, come on, it's like, and I'm not the very patient type, and I, I was like, teaching them things so we can get over it, get over the things like people come and keep coming back for the same pain, the same problem. And I would say, it's in your lifestyle. If you don't change your lifestyle, you will never get it. But that was my job, and I was doing it until I got tired of it, and I left, and I sold everything, and I went to Asia. And long story short, I ended up in China, and I lived 12 years in China, and I ran a healing and detox center, because
Mm.
at that point is like, okay, first China did not need one more traditional Chinese medicine doctor, so I didn't go to China to find a job. I created this center where I could teach Qigong, and the Qigong that I learned is medical Qigong. So it's kind of a little bit like a musician was entered a conservatory and learned the whole thing, you know, the whole classical training. So medical Qigong is a little bit like this. So you learn Qigong for the bones, Qigong for the brain, Qigong for the emotion, Qigong
Mm-hmm.
for, there's all kinds of Qigong, which energy cultivation, you refine. So there's a lot of Chinese who don't really know about it. So for me, to a Westerner, blonde, blue eyes, just start to teach Qigong. It's very exotic, and and they were very interested in learning because I have such an admiration for Chinese culture that the Chinese really liked me. That because there's so many foreigners who just judge the Chinese, and you know, it's like, so you arrive and you just have good things to say about Chinese culture, because honestly, Chinese culture saved my life. It just all the knowledge made my life so much deeper. It really connected me with the whole. It fulfilled the emptiness at the spiritual level. You know, it's like I owe everything to Chinese culture, and so it was great for me to have a school there. So I had local students, and I was teaching like international retreat. People were coming and flying and following my training, and at the same time, since it was a center, at some point, some people from Taiwan who were fermenting plants stopped at my center and started to talk with me, and they invited me, and I was resisting a lot because I felt like, a little bit like they were like pulling me on the commercial side. And I had my life, I enjoyed my life very much. I was having a good life, and also all my professional um our career, I refused to sell things because I thought it was like conflict of interest, being a doctor and say you need this, and by the way, I have some in the back store, and like I always refuse. And even if the products were good, and so I still had this at that moment. But long story short, they insisted, and at some point they say, come on, we have plane tickets for you and hotel rooms. So I look at my wife and I say, have you been to Taiwan before? So we went for a free trip, so but the thing is, like, I arrived there, and I was greeted by traditional Chinese medicine doctors and naturopathic doctors and nurses and blood tests and all kinds of testing and all. I was ravished with the PowerPoints and everything, and at the same time they were feeding me with some enzymes, and at the end of the day they give me a sieve and chopsticks and plastic gloves, and they asked me to collect what was going to come out the following day. I was not impressed by that. I've seen this many times in my life. Many protocols, long protocols, can lead to something similar. But I had no idea what to expect, but the next day it happened, and what came to my mind was, oh my God, if I had this tool before, how many people who came to fast at my center, or I guided, and shook my hands and say, thank you, doc. And I knew that they would never do that again, because of the hardship they went through, because of the water fasting.
Yeah.
I say, oh my God, if I had this tool before, how many more people I would have placed on the self-healing journey, at that moment. And this is what led me to really consider that again. And I started to test for 2 years. I purchased 500 kits. And
Wow.
and I started to test, and I sent to my friends and the people I knew all over the world who were in the field and all this. And I tested with people with chronic disease and all this, and me taking daily also. I started. So um, yeah, 2 years later, I decided, I say, I need to bring this to the Western world, not because I had a vision of a successful business,
Mhm.
but I had the really this kind of of vision that this would really revolutionize the natural health field for people, because it's democratic, it's for everyone. I say, finally there's something as deep as water fasting
Mm.
that help you to go through the hardship. It kind of mellowed down all this hardship, and
Yeah.
it actually at the same time it speeds up the process. What can
Mm.
happen in such a short time with these 3-year fermented enzyme is just stunning. And I didn't even know it existed. I
Mm.
had no idea it existed. So I decided to go into this, but at the same time, I say this is not enough. We need to really uh, develop formulas for all the organs, because the body has 5 main drainage pathways. So
Mm.
that means, in other words, it's like the body uses 5 exits
Mhm.
to release its toxins out, and this is built in. This is the God's gift. This
Mhm.
just happening. But nowadays, with the lifestyle, with all the extra toxins that we've been injected in our modern lifestyle, all these filters clog, and it starts to back up, and all the illnesses that we did that starts to add up, all these autoimmune disease, these cardiovascular issues, respiratory issues, digestive issues, kidney failure issues, all the leading cause of death are all lifestyle related, and it's all related to these extra all these things. It's like we never accessed as much food in human history. We never accessed such the crappy food in human history, and at the same time, we never been as sedentary in human history. So all the perfect ingredient to clog a system, and this is what we're living nowadays. This is the outcome of what we have. Is purely because of toxicity. It's not like because I'm in the field of detox that I'm saying this. Is I'm in the field of detox because I know that there's no way out if we don't detox.
Yeah.
So so I created this system where we created formulas with other doctors, with scientists, with traditional Chinese medicine and naturopathic doctors to address the digestive system, the liver, the lymphatic system, the lungs, and the kidneys. So we have all, and it's all made of whole food. So it's nothing like we play with nature. We offer nature, but it's just the knowledge that we have of nature, of the God-given pharmacy that we just put together, so
Mhm.
people can just simply, while living,
Mhm.
without making major changes in their life, can start removing layers of toxicity and see the light at the end of the tunnel somehow.
Yeah, beautiful. And just to kind of reiterate, yeah, there's never been a time where literally, fluoride in our water, chemtrails in our air, and all the stuff that's being our liver is having to process on a daily basis, which eventually makes it into our lymph system. And so that's why I said at the beginning, there's never been a more exciting time when there's something of the right idea at the right time for humanity. And I believe that's what Zen Cleanse is right now. And as you guys have heard the backstory, of how this is all being formulated. So I would love to, Daniel, if you're up for it, take a little dive into fruit enzymes, which, I know they flew you out. They bought you a ticket. They said, hey, you need to come out here, right? And you put on your gloves and you tested it out, and then you tested it for 2 years. And when you tested it for 2 years, before we dive into each product, tell us a little bit about fruit enzymes, if you can.
Yeah, it's a great question because I heard about enzymes as a doctor. We all hear about it,
Sure.
but how can they be so powerful? So I got back into my books. I started to look more into it, and I realized that how crucial they are in our lives, and they are built into each living things. They are built in, and so the fermentation is just a way to harvest and concentrate these enzymes. And if I looked more into it, for your audience maybe that are not so aware of what enzymes are, they're catalysts. They make things happen. It's not like one more vitamin and one more mineral into the list that we have, or one more superfood, or it's not anything like that. If we compare it to the car, it's the spark plug. It's what make things happen. And there's different kinds of let's say there's two main categories. There's a lot of names for the enzyme, but there's two main categories: the metabolic enzymes, which are the enzymes that make your heart beat, your lungs breathe, your brain think, and muscle move, and it's all triggered by an enzyme. And the less enzyme you have, the less fast you think, and the less energetic you are, and the faster you age, and all this because your metabolic functions are slowing down when your enzyme level is going down. And we must understand that. But how can we reverse that? Because metabolic enzyme, you cannot supplement metabolic enzymes. Only the body can manufacture its own enzymes. And at the moment, there's a lot of studies happening with enzyme. And the strongest theory at the moment is like we have what we call source enzymes. It's a little bit like a baby that doesn't have a gender yet. We don't know if it's a boy, we don't know it's a girl. And according to the need, the demand, it will take its gender. It will decide, okay, so metabolic functions, the minimum service that will provide, it will make your heart beat and your lungs breathe. Okay? Beyond this, it's not essential for the body. It's extra good if you have extra, but you're alive, and that's fine. And then you have the digestive enzyme. So as soon as you eat, so part of your source will say, okay, we need the emergency, and this can be postponed for tomorrow. We need emergency. We need to digest immediately. And especially now we eat cooked food, 3 meals a day. So that means like there's not even the enzyme within the food can be used, because as soon as it passes like around 45 or 50 degrees Celsius, it's going down, it's dying. So all cooked food is enzymeless food. So you need to provide. So as you are young, you have a big bank account of enzymes. You overeat, you over party, you over exercise. You do everything. Everything is fine. You're still kicking. You're just glowing. You're pink. You just look good, no matter what happened the day before. But at some point, you wake up and you start eating, and then you feel tired. Or you can't, you don't remember, or you kind of become foggy. You're invited to go there, or you don't feel like it. It's like you start,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on there is like you're not so vital, no radiant, no much radiant anymore. And this is because you
Mm-hmm.
still eat 3 meals a day sitting in the office that you
Mm-hmm.
need to digest,
Mm-hmm.
but your bank account is lower, and the body say, okay, I need to lower my metabolic functions. Well, you still beat your heart, no problem. Breathe your lung, no problem. But you don't need to think clearly. You don't need to be vital. Sit down there. Okay, we need to digest. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the two main categories. So what if we supplement the digestive part can be supplemented?
Mm-hmm.
So if you bring in the enzyme supplement, and you're having this on a daily basis, and you help your digestion, suddenly your enzyme supply say, oh my god, I have more available now than I used to. So okay, I will restore his skin. I will make him more vital. I will make him think more clearly. I will just make him feel like going to the gym. I will just, like
Yeah.
the vitality. There's just more capital to
Mm-hmm.
be invested there. So
Mm-hmm.
this is how, the magic
I
that
see.
is happening just by supplementing with food enzyme, and
Mm-hmm.
it's food. It's totally safe. You cannot be allergic because it's pre-digested. So that means like there's no unwanted undigested particles that will penetrate your blood and trigger an autoimmune reaction. It's totally non-allergenic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a miracle. I believe it. I really
Yeah.
think it's just. I don't think that in a century many product are injected on the market like this. It's very,
Mm-hmm.
very, very
Mm-hmm.
rare.
Yeah. And so, most people out there are probably eating 2 to 3 meals a day. And from my awareness, I don't know the exact numbers, but as soon as you eat, most of those reserve energies go into digesting the food. And a lot of this food already has been pre-cooked, or as you guys know, they're putting things into our food. So a lot of the enzymes and the power and the chi and the life force of the food, it's spending so much energy to take it, but then there's not even a lot to take. And so what these fermented fruit enzymes do is, and I'm a proof to it, they literally that process, it breaks it down so that that energy is available, and there's more energy available. It catalyzes that so that you can just, if you don't want to go the hard route and do water only fasting, you can do these Zencleanz fastings, and literally it with all the spare energy that the fruit enzymes will do for you, it'll bring in and metabolize the gut, all that spare energy that you're going to have. It can use it to heal your eyes. It can use it to heal cancer. It can use it to heal, because your body is very intelligently, innately knows what to do with that energy when it has it. And I'm a testament to this. So with that being said, would love to delve into kind of the 5 elimination systems. And perhaps we can start with Zencleanz 1. I've done this fast. For me, I'll say it, the best 1-day GI parasite cleanse I've ever found. Literally, my friends are sending me, because I'm a preacher about this, they send me literally a little biofilm surrounding their gut. Literally, I didn't have that because I've been doing a lot of cleansing, but like literally it falls off and you see it the next day. One day, take these fruit enzymes and you drink, the lukewarm water, and then this biofilm surrounding the gut falls off. And now I'm really into, sometimes I used to be very into going and studying the extraterrestrial and the ET and all that stuff, and higher dimensions. And I'm very aware of what this biofilm contains. I won't go too deep into it, but it's literally can be parasitic energy suckers, which have been purposefully sometimes put there into our food and all these different things. So my friends are sending me pictures of this literally biofilm surrounding their gut falling off in one day. That's not only going to free well, it's going to do a lot of things. Your thoughts will become clear. You'll have more energy. You're not being parasitized anymore. So there's a lot of, not only to mention the physical benefits. So I've done it twice. For me, it's been a very, powerful cleanse of the gut. And so for those who might be seeking parasite cleanses or whatnot, if any of that resonated, would love to kind of get your perspective on the Zencleanz-1 GI cleanse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. First, how do we design the formulas for it's by looking at every plant, because we it's not only fruit enzyme, it's like we have 5 kinds of plants,
Okay.
fruits, vegetables,
Mm,
mushrooms, herbs, and
mm,
seaweed. So it's a
mm.
combination of this, and then we ferment over 152 plants at this point, and
Wow.
yes, separately.
Mm,
We ferment them separately, and then we, according to the purpose and the organ we want to target,
mm,
we create the blends. So what's revolutionary with this system is, like, enzymes are active. If you want to compare them, maybe
mm,
if you're old enough, you will know what a Pac-Man is.
mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's like the little ball who just like nibble all the way on its road. And
Mhm,
this is a little bit what enzymes do. They are active. It's not like if you've been cleansing before and if you've been using psyllium husk or bentonite clay or
mhm,
other kinds of binders. You These are kind of broomers or sweepers,
mm,
brooms and vacuum cleaner,
mm,
but it doesn't take care of the bubble gum into the shaggy rug.
mm,
Because if you look at the lining of the small intestine, is not slick. It's like there's the villi. The villi is kind of a little rug. It's got a
mhm.
depth, and it's like hair.
Yeah.
And the toxicity that accumulates over time in this gets clogged into these villi, and this affects
Mhm,
your nutrient absorption.
mm,
Because some people sometimes they start feeling like weak or getting like and they feel, and they blood test, and they're deficient in this mineral, or and they take the supplement and it doesn't change anything. It's because they have absorption issues. It's like
mm,
because this lining, this pipe, is completely clogged.
mhm,
So by working with enzyme, you're adding an active compound, the enzyme that will voluntarily go and dig in the shaggy rug and complete the digestive process that didn't occur in the first place for some reason, because it was
mm,
either that you didn't have the enzyme to digest it, or you overate and you didn't have enough enzyme to
mm,
digest it, and then it clogged your pipe. It just it creates like a deposit on the lining, and at some point it completely clogs it. A person can accumulate 15 to 25 kilos over a lifetime.
mm,
It's like for the people in the US, we talk in terms of pounds. Some people may have 60 pounds. When you see the big boy coming out of McDonald's, there, you may have like 60 pounds of clogged gunk,
wow.
into his digestive tract.
Wow.
Yeah. So the enzyme go actively
Mhm,
complete the digestive process, and there's some fibers, some compounds in the blend that carries them out.
mm,
And at the same time, we consider in our blends to because we're not stripping off, we're completing a digestion that didn't occur in the first place. So
mm,
it's not like we're stripping off everything, the good, the bad, off.
mhm,
No, no, no. We're just digesting what hasn't been digested, and we're
mm,
even feeding the flora.
Mm.
So we have ingredient, prebiotic ingredient. We
Nice.
have probiotics inside. We have all kinds of ingredient that we think that will feed. And
Mm.
also we have ingredients that are known for their anti-inflammatory
Mm.
capacities, abilities. So we think in these terms when we design the formula. So you take the Zencleanz one, the one you're talking about, it has about 60 different plants in it.
Wow.
So it's not about just stripping off. No, we build. So it's a very safe system. And when you finish cleansing, you finish cleansing. You don't need to take a month to rebuild. It's a
Mm.
good opportunity to
Yeah.
take good habits,
Yeah.
but it's not like, it's like if you go and you eat something that you shouldn't eat, is not threatening, doesn't threaten your life, because the most dangerous part of a water fast is when you start eating after. This
Mm.
is the most the trickiest part. You need to be careful when you start eating
Mm.
afterwards.
Mm.
But with this with the enzyme, you didn't stop,
Mhm.
because this is food, so it's much easier. You have energy through it. If you don't have this kind of craving, because, for example, if we compare to water fasting, there is this element of when we get emotionally triggered, or we get in touch with some emotion, we open the fridge and we bite something.
Mhm.
We feel
Mhm.
like this, we eat something, and it kind of covers up this kind of emotional that was there. And when you water fast,
Mhm.
you don't have that option,
Mhm.
so it's very raw. You're
Mhm.
very confronted,
Yeah.
and this can be challenging for some people if you don't have any support. But with
Mhm.
the enzyme, this part is very soft, is
Mhm.
mellowed. It's like you have a drink, you can take something, you still feel, but it's not as harsh as
Mhm.
water fasting is. So that's why I thought that to bring this to people would really help the people who have difficulty with water fasting. Because if you tell me that you do 3 days water fast, this is honestly, it's
Yeah.
nothing. It's
Mhm.
nothing. It doesn't get anywhere. And if you say that juice
Mhm.
fasting, I don't even call this a fast. I
Hmm.
may be a little bit rude for some people, but
Yeah.
honestly, I've tried it. It's like does nothing. I call this a digestive tract holiday. It's
Mhm.
unless you do it for 6 months or for
Mhm.
a long period of time, then you're gonna get somewhere. But if you tell me that you've done a 7-day juice
Mhm.
fasting, you rested. It
I
was
see.
good. I'm not saying that it's not
Sure,
good.
sure.
But in terms of cleansing, in terms of
Yeah.
taking toxins out,
Mhm.
you didn't cover much
Mhm.
distance with that.
Mm. Okay. Um, and so, if I'm hearing correctly, these fruit enzymes in the Zen Cleanse one, over 52 different, not only fruit, but also different prebiotics, probiotics, mushrooms, vegetables combined together, in one day, guys. I'm telling you, one day. Not only do they go in, and, some of us, literally 1 mile, over a mile of tubing, that guy who, at McDonald's, whatever, over sometimes 60 pounds. And like Pac-Man, these enzymes go in there, not only cleansing, but also feeding the healthy parts of the small intestine so it can do nutrient absorption better. So it's specifically formulated to feed it, to cleanse it, and in one day to release, I'm telling you guys, like a shit, literally cleanse the shit out of the gut in one day. And
Mm,
that is the Zen Cleanse One, GI.
mm,
And remember, I'm telling you guys also that it's not only cleansing, but it's feeding it as well and making it healthy. But also there's this biofilm for most people. I would say it falls off, and that is containing a lot of parasitic things. And so it's not only going to cleanse what the shit out, but it's also those, when those parasites are out, it can literally shift your thoughts and also your energy long term, because those parasites are not parasitizing energy from you anymore. And so I've done the Zen Cleanse one twice. And so I hope that brought a little light into that. Now, I've also tried the Zencleanz-Forgive liver cleanse twice. And I could, send the B-roll to Mikey. I don't know if you guys want to see it, but like literally imagine and visualize, if you want, a whole toilet full of little green pellets. And I literally felt I've got a chronic liver condition in my family. And so I've tried everything for my liver. And I really felt after this, even I've done it twice, but after the second time, I really felt something shift in my liver. So can you tell us a little bit about Zencleanz-Forgive for the liver?
Yes. Is it forbid? Do you want to show your audience a little bit what it does?
Oh, like the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, while you're speaking, yeah, I'll look for the picture and I'll try to show them.
I have here if you want.
Oh, you have it? Yeah, I would love.
Yeah,
If you
but
have
I don't want to shock anyone.
it.
But
Yeah, you know what though, man? This
you
is our
talk about.
unfiltered podcast.
Okay,
No
okay.
problem. Yeah.
Because I will show you. I have hundreds of them. People send me
Okay.
and we analyze. But there's one with a parasite that is on it. So I thought, since you mentioned,
Yeah, please,
I will show you.
please. You guys see that? Yeah. Literally, can you imagine? And
So
that's full of
the thing
parasites.
moving at the bottom, it's a parasite. Yeah,
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 literally.
and yeah. So this
And I'll
is
show you guys mine. This is what came out of my liver cleanse. It's not very good quality, but it's literally green circles. And I've been doing cleansing for a long time. Literally green pellet full of a whole toilet. Probably, I don't know how many pounds, but completely full of
you
little
can
pellets.
see here. This is
There
all
it
from
is.
the liver.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, actually, 100% of the people who came to us and who were scheduled for cholecystectomy, this is gallbladder removal.
Yeah.
They've been sent back home after only one cleanse. 100%
Wow.
result. It's 100% result. It's like if you look at this, it's like look at the size of these cells.
Wow. Whew. Wow. Those are huge.
These are huge. And the people scheduled for to get their gallbladder removed, and it comes out, and that's it. They don't need any to go through surgery anymore. So the same thing for like the benefit of fermenting for 3 years. Why we bother, why we bother to ferment?
Yeah.
It's quite a journey to it goes through different phases, to different cycle, and to end up becoming systemic. So that means like the molecules get small enough to penetrate the bloodstream and become active following the bloodstream. So that means like the enzyme action spread throughout the body, not only in the digestive tract. So so then we can think, okay, this plant it will be active in the more into that organ. We just focus on those organs. So we select the ingredients in order that knowing that some ingredient will work more into that organ without necessarily having to extract something. We still offer the whole food, the whole plant. So there's the safety, because with extract we can overdose. We can, but if we just use old food, we keep it safe this way. So the liver, instead of because what we knew before, like Andreas Moritz, bless him, he's
Yeah.
been bringing, lots of positive and bring a lot of awareness and knowledge around liver cleansing. We take it one step deeper. We take it deeper because a liver cleanse has different layers. Yeah, there's something you take to purge and to open the ducts,
Mm-hmm.
to help open the ducts. The Moritz use Epsom salt to do that, and then you have something to soften the stones, the gallstones, and Moritz use a week long of apple juice. So you have malic acid of the apple that soften the stones, which by the way also are useful for kidney stones. By the way, you know, and then you have the flush itself, which is something that will just push, make the liver react. Olive oil and lemon and or grapefruit, something that will like stimulate the liver to push the things, the gunk out of the bile ducts. And so these are the classic three parts of a liver flush that we keep, but we replace the Epsom salt, which is a little violent. If you've explored it before, it's like it's like sometimes you say, "Oh, I will pass this time." You just don't want to get through it. It's quite intense, right? So we have like very mild and even deeper, but working with enzymes, which is a very easy to drink formula. And also in our formula, we have ingredients that will address the parasites, the flukes, and also will dig into the liver. So there's different particle because there's different things that the liver contains over the years. It does not. We look for the gallstones, and we're very excited when we see the gallstones, but it's not necessarily the most threatening part that afflict the liver. The fat is a big deal. Chemicals, fat. There's over 30% of the Western world that is diagnosed with fatty liver. They know. And there's another, probably as much outside, they have fatty liver and they don't know. Because the liver oftentimes will not give you a liver pain, or will not give you pain, but will give you fog, will give you tiredness, will give you joint issue, will give you all kinds of symptoms that you would never associate to the liver, and you will just take some medicine to address the symptoms. So it keeps, it's so it's very you can see I can show you like images. You see that this kind of thing, for example, that comes from liver, and this is and there's flukes, liver flukes. These are parasites from the liver.
Oh,
Yeah, different kinds, and there's bucket full of it. If you take these are all fluke parasite, different flukes with some
Jesus.
living stones. There's all kinds of things. So there's different types of you can see how complex the liver is for your audience. It's a complex organ that is, and it's the first filter on the bloodstream line. So can you imagine everything that is penetrating the blood through the skin, through the lungs, through the digestive system? Is the first filter that crosses. So it's pretty filthy.
Yeah.
Look at this beautiful specimen here.
Whoa, what's that?
A fluke.
Oh my gosh. I learned about this in medical school. Yeah.
Yeah, liver fluke. There's so many many kinds of. Anyway, this is And you can see, like, for example, this one is a fat stone.
Mm.
You know,
Wow.
it's like the
Literally
so
just.
if there's a pandemic, this is a real pandemic. Yeah, that's a
Mhm.
fatty liver.
Wow.
That's a fatty liver. So the
Jesus.
stone you saw is one
Yeah.
that you see like through the lining
Mm.
of
Yeah.
the liver.
Mm.
So yeah, this is
So.
definitely worth, because when the liver is clogged, it's
Mm.
the downfall of your health, because
Mm.
now the liver is not filtering anything, so it
Mm.
goes into the open bloodstream and triggers autoimmune reaction, allergies, and
Wow.
all kinds of, it's the
Mm.
downfall, and it
Mm.
spreads it spreads throughout the body.
Mm.
So it's a very important organ to clean to
Mm.
clean.
And I've done the Zen cleanse. It's a 1 day liver cleanse, and so if I'm
Mhm.
hearing correctly, the enzymes are addressing not only if well, number one, the flukes, not only the gallstones, which you saw pictures of, and you saw my pictures, but also flukes, but also the fatty liver, and it's a pandemic right now in our society. I think a third, or maybe even more, have fatty liver. But not only that, like that's two a lot of it undiagnosed. So this 1 day Zen cleanse forgive, and I know in that some traditions they say anger or irritability is stored also in the liver, and so it's not only a physical release; it's like an emotional release that is also being done. And Zen cleanse one forgive. I've done it twice, and I anytime I'm not traveling these days, I always plan. Oh, I'm gonna have this day. I order it. I order it. And the crazy thing is, it's from Taiwan, but it actually gets delivered pretty quickly to the United States within, I think, 3 or 4 days. It's
Yes.
it's delivered. And so I'm always planning. Oh, when am I going to be back, and when am I going to have time? Because I'm semi-religious about this right now, because because of the first point that Daniel said. One of the points that he said was, it's not a process of gaining spirituality, really. It's really a process of uncovering what's already there by releasing literally all of the shit that's been covering up our liver, all of the shit that's been feeding off of our gut, all of the shit that they've been putting into our system. And yeah, we play a part in it too. But and so that's then cleanse, forgive for the liver. I think one word that was mentioned there, remember, when the liver's not functioning properly, it's the first stream from the blood. All of these autoimmune conditions, right? All of these different things. Daniel, can you tell us a little bit about some of the conditions that have been reversed through cleansing, some of these cleanses?
Hmm. Well, it's not a magic pill.
Mm-hmm.
That means, like, most of the issues
Yeah.
are lifestyle related, and it's because the system clogs and it starts to back up.
Mm.
So I would say 100% of the people who have been consistent and persevered into the cleansing process saw their health or their major symptoms vanishing.
Mm-hmm.
This is 100%. If they were healthy before, they went back there, because it's the clogging of the system. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, in the process, there's emotional cleansing that will be come to the surface. So I would say someone who engage in that need to have a long-term perspective, and also get the support to go through all the various challenges that will come along the way. But it worth it. It's like you really end up with more radiance, having a more fulfilled life. And but I would say it's 100%. It's like we have people who had lupus. It's supposed to be a deadly disease.
Mm-hmm.
Lupus, cancer, Lyme disease,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of arthritis. going back, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, improving to the most tiniest dosage of it, all kinds of things. Detox is not optional. It's like as the same thing for your car. It's not, if I was telling you, okay, yeah, don't bother, you don't need to send your Ferrari to service. It's a Ferrari. You don't need service. You would say you're crazy. You're crazy because, it's like, Ferrari's got filters, got air filters, oil filter, gas filters, this needs to be changed.
Yeah.
And then you would say, okay, but my body has his self-cleaning. Okay, God saw that, and you can sell it self-cleans. I say, yeah, in the normal circumstances, it
Yeah.
will. But with all the extra that we've been adding into, first, all the overeating is the number one thing. It's like I would even think that overeating is worse than eating badly. I think overeating 3 times a day is worse than eating badly 1 time a day. I would think. The body can handle a lot of things by itself. But 3 meals a day, it overwhelms the body. And so yeah, all the chemicals in the food, the chemicals in the air, the chemicals. You wash. People wash the whole house with chemicals. The floor, the table, the sheet, everything. Our soap, our shampoo, it's everywhere. So these all extra things that we've injected in our lifestyle that were not there before, and the body's not designed for this. So right now the cleansing is not luxury, it's not optional. You need to, if you hope to be healthy, you need to detox, and you need to detox regularly. And the beauty with the enzyme is like you can detox every day, because it's not only you take enzymes on a normal day at work, and you live your life, you take enzyme, you inject little Pac-Man in your life that will take care of this, will add it. You will help your digestion, you will break down things, you will eliminate on a daily basis. So it's happening with in this way. It has to happen. It's not. And if you tell me that, yeah, you've been on a detox retreat, I think it was 5 years ago, I tell people, replace detox by shower. So, okay, repeat your sentence. I've been in a detox 5 years ago. And you replace that by shower. I showered 5 years ago, And this gives you about the reality, what is going on. Because it's amazing. We've been trained, conditioned to interpret the symptoms as, well, it's normal, it will pass. But as soon as you have one body function that starts to giving you sign, you have brain fog, you have sleeping issues, you don't digest well, you feel tired after a meal, you have joint issues, you already into a state of toxemia. So the toxemia it means like you reach a level of toxicity that is beyond what the body can handle by itself. So, but we've been trained to say, oh, that's fine, it will pass, it's not that bad, and we accept that until the next bell, that it will be a little louder, and then it will be a little louder until it's a tragic diagnosis, and then you panic, and then oftentimes some people may just wake up and do the walking back in time and heal from there. But the longer you wait, the less energy you have, and the
Mm-hmm.
harder it is to come back. But tell yourself one
Mm-hmm.
thing: when there's one thing that doesn't go well, take it seriously. Don't take it dramatically or panic or worry about it, but take action.
Yeah.
Take action. Just do something about it and you'll be fine. You will walk back, you'll clear, and you will have responded to your body's call. And
Yeah.
perfect. You
Yeah.
did you did it well. It's a communication.
So when the body is sending symptoms, it's already at a toxemia level, and it's important to listen to the body signals to respond, as Daniel did when, as a young man, his body was sending him a signal. I believe, I forgot what it was, but you took that one signal and you went into all these different modalities of, oh, how can you respond to this signal? And that's why you are where you are today.
Mm.
And so it's really important to listen to those signals. And I think there's a quote you said: detox is not optional, because of all of the different chemicals and compounds that are pervading into our society. Literally, when you walk into a hotel room, what has it been cleansed with, right? These things, right? What's in the water that you're drinking from that faucet in that city? What's in the air, and what is those jet streams, right? And so we're literally being, what if 5G, 6G, right? All these different toxins that just by living we're consuming. And we take a shower every day, but we also need to then also take a shower and send the Pac-Man into not only cleansing and declogging, but also strengthening the microvilli for nutrient absorption and all these different things that are so important. And this system has been developed. If you can't do water fasting, which can be a difficult process, it's a freeway, but it's there's these enzymes have been developed, and they actually taste pretty good. They actually taste good, and it's not like
Mm-hmm.
drinking shit. No, it actually tastes good. It's not like drinking Epsom salt. It
Mm.
tastes good. And so Daniel, you mentioned something in there that I'm personally very, very curious about, because I travel a lot, and for I didn't know up until this point that I could actually be taking these enzymes while I travel on a daily, consistent base, sending these Pac-Mans into my system. Which ones for the daily traveler would you recommend? I haven't explored this yet, so I'm very curious.
Yeah. Well, there's for every kit that
Yeah.
we have the daily detox products, which is normally a specific bottle. Like for
Mhm.
the intestine, for example, we have two different bottles. One will
Okay.
address the maintenance of the intestine. Another one will address the pancreas, for the
Mm.
blood sugar and all this. The Every single kit have their maintenance, and we have also like things that I carry everywhere in my luggage. This is a We have three kinds of sachet. Um,
Mhm.
I have them all here, but this
Yeah.
is, you see, there's two kinds here. You see,
Yeah.
this is
The black
so.
one.
This one is protease rich blend. This one
Okay.
is lipase rich blend, and I
Okay.
have another that is amylase
Mhm.
rich blend. So these are kind of things that I take daily. I
Okay.
just I just take this daily. I
Mhm.
have this. It tastes good, and I have the I take after meals and before sleep. And I just play with it. I'm not like It's not like, oh my god, a medicine or something
Sure.
that is. I just live with them. And
Mhm.
there's bottles. I can, if you allow me to go, just
Please,
show
please,
a bottle.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to give you an example. This is one that I asked the fact the warehouse to. So this one is IGEA, and this
Mhm.
is also from the liver maintenance
Mm.
part. So there's
Mhm.
more. It's more lipase in this one.
Mhm.
More. So I'm at the moment. I decided that I would just have a little bit more care for my liver at
Mhm.
this time. I need to choose because I'm traveling at the moment, so I cannot
Mhm.
like have like at home all the series, and I can just change bottle,
Yeah.
daily. So I just chose this one for now. But it's integrated. It's not like, oh my God, I don't have this one anymore, and then what I should. It's not dramatic. It's like you take, if you have the option, and you want to work on something in particular, then we say, okay, we design different ones. But at the end of the day, if you read the ingredient, it's like, oh, this is all food. It's like, oh my God, I don't have any cauliflower anymore. My God, can I take broccoli? Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like, this is a little bit, because these are so potent that people sometimes they call, my God, is it okay, or should I stop? Or I say, please go read the ingredient.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have effect, it's just because you have toxicity inside, that the enzymes say, I gotta take care of this, I'm on the way, and there's some toxins here, and I'm gonna cling. And then you feel a little bit, oh, my God, I had diarrhea. This is not diarrhea. This is not diarrhea. This is loose bowel movement filled of toxins that just came out. The day you will be toxin free, you will not have this anymore. So bless your loose stool. You know, it's it's as simple as that. It's like, you don't need to worry. It's like, I keep sending people back to the label. Read what's in there. It's like, oh, pineapple, apple, papaya, grape, tomato, star fruit, banana, dragon fruit, guava, watermelon. Is like nothing to be scared of.
Yeah.
It's like nothing to kill you here. Like, you don't need to worry. But sometimes, because these products work, and we're not used to understand healing by going through issues, because we're taught by with the chemical and allopathic medicine to go around. You just have high blood pressure in the morning, take that pill, half an hour later your pressure is okay. You have high blood sugar, you take this, and half an hour your blood sugar is okay. You did not resolve anything.
Yeah.
But you don't feel the discomfort, and it can temporarily maintain your integrity and save your life. I'm totally for it.
Sure.
But at the same time, you need to look at the real problem, because you cannot stay there. You cannot stay there, because these allopathic medicine are not designed to heal the issue. They're designed to keep it within the range, so you don't die and you don't suffer that much. But you still need to take care of yourself and restore the root cause of the imbalance that is happening at this time. And this is what natural medicine is about. It's about going back and facing it. Whatever you're facing into a even spiritual journey. What is a healing spiritually is somehow meeting your darkness. Is not going around the darkness. We keep doing this all the time, and it keeps coming back. But it's like, at some point, it's like, to face it, to feel it, to let it sink in, and moving through it and integrating it, right? So this is what this does as well. But if you're clean, it's just a nice drink. Let's make some cocktails. This is something. You come at my place, and I offer you a drink, huh? I offer you a drink, and I'm not shy to put it in soda water to make it fun on a Friday night. I don't mind.
Yeah.
And you still have the enzyme. And people say, yeah, carbonated water is not good, but don't worry. It's like, you can't. It's okay at that point. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not about like being too tight, too stiff, or anything. But it's very, very. Very simple.
Yeah.
It's food.
Yeah, so cheers to fermented fruit enzymes becoming the future of parties. Yeah,
Yes.
why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
sure.
beautiful. So you can, focus on, there's these lipase protease daily packets also that we can
Yes.
utilize. Also, there's these bottles for each cleanse that we can utilize if we're focusing on the liver, or we're focusing on different areas when we travel. So these, just getting these natural enzymes in so that they can keep up with the daily, toxins that we're having, breathing in airport air, and drinking water from the faucet at the airport, and all these different things. And we can, you don't have to be religious about it. You can still enjoy your life and just make sure that you're also giving your body what it needs, not only to detoxify, but also to, strengthen the functions of the body. And so, yeah, I'm definitely going to incorporate that into my travels as well. Daniel, we didn't touch a little bit. I am not too familiar with these other ones, but I think there's something for the lungs as well as the
Yeah,
lymph. Is
yeah,
that correct?
yeah. There's lungs, lymphatic, blood and lymph,
Mm,
blood and lymph, and the kidneys. Um,
mm,
the lungs is a 28-day process because you
mhm.
don't want to choke anyone by just provoking too strong. So it's a
Yeah.
process that is happening gradually, and in this one, because it's not all about pooping things. The nose is a excretory organ, so you may sneeze a little bit more, you may cough a little bit more, you
Mhm,
may have, leaking nose a
mhm,
little bit more. And this is the natural means that the lungs take to cleanse themselves. And this one, it's a lung cleanse and strengthener. So let's say you live in Beijing or you live in India and you have a high level of pollution, or you're
mhm.
a smoker. This is something you just take every day of your
Okay.
life, and then you will strengthen your lungs. So it's not like an intensive like the intestinal. It's something that you can integrate every day of your life. The blood and lymph is the same thing. If you have like circulatory system issue,
Mhm,
cholesterol, atherosclerosis, or also allergies or autoimmune issues or intolerance, these kind of thing is like the flow, which is the blood and lymph. It's a 7-day process,
mhm,
but this one you can also extend it if you never cleanse and you have issues at that level. You can multiply it. But we make it 7 days if it's only
mhm.
for maintenance, and you do it, once in a while, just for maintenance. You
Mhm.
get one. So then you're not stuck with too much product. You have for a week, and you can do that. But if you have cholesterol issue, you have circulatory issues, or serious blood issues, or something like that, you can do it for an extended period of
Mhm.
time. And this, you don't need to fast with it. You just
Okay.
integrate it into your day. There's
Mhm,
4 different products to take throughout the day, and it's
mhm.
more like a supplement. You can put some in your bag, and
Okay.
some next to your bed, and it's very easy, a very easy process. Kidney, in the essence, is the
Yeah.
house of the Jing. We say in Chinese
Mhm,
medicine, is the
mhm,
vitality. We say if you have a
mhm,
lot of strong kidneys, you have good vitality. Low
mhm,
kidneys is not a good sign, and all this. So this one um, is focused more on vitality, because by the time, if you've been taking all the other enzyme before,
mhm,
since the day one you started, there was ingredient to cleanse your kidney in it.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm, mhm,
Because the enzyme penetrate the blood, and there was ingredients that were already cleaning
mhm,
the kidneys. So we still have put some of our attention in the cleansing ingredient, but
mhm,
mostly strengthening ingredient for the
mhm,
kidneys too, for
mhm.
vitality. There's maca in it. There's a lot of ingredient, amino acids B complex. We have we thought in those terms to
Mm-hmm.
increase the vitality for the kidney. So athletes, people who need to perform, CEOs, or like someone who have to want to be energetic. Uh, we thought that kits, these three products, in that direction, we thought about vitality more. But
Mm-hmm.
after that, when you cleanse the system, because people say how long it takes to
Mm-hmm.
cleanse, this
Yeah.
is a question we have often. Um, if considering that we take decades to intoxicate ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
we say if you have issues, if you have chronic issues, you should
Mm-hmm.
invest at least 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like a overnight or over the weekend journey to detox. It's 3D. This is thick. There is tissues. There's 92 miles of
Yeah.
blood vessels, and there's 92,000 miles of blood vessels,
Mm-hmm.
and there's it's full.
Yeah.
So with consistent, that means daily intake, you
Mm-hmm.
can, if you want to do the job. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
we created this system, to offer the people mean to do the whole job.
Mm-hmm.
You detox the whole body.
Mm-hmm.
And this, it's not like after 2 years you're going to start feeling something. You will know immediately after day one, that you're on the right track and that it works. But the thing is, like, to reach the bottom of the bucket
Mm-hmm.
of toxins that we've accumulated, it makes sense, right? That it may take some time, and
Sure.
and people like to have a format,
Mm-hmm.
and the format is really, I say, if you have chronic issues, dedicate 2 years on a
Mm-hmm.
daily intake. Nothing to, you don't rush through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, how can I do faster? Why would you do it faster?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to do it fast. It's just like gradually you just do it, you just on
Yeah.
a daily basis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel, absolute joy and pleasure to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for taking your time, and also for the service to humanity with this product. Hey, man, I'm going to be promoting this product everywhere I go, because when I find something that helps me, and that's what you do. You find a precious pearl, you share it with other people. And so Zencleanz, and I believe that this time in history is the time for detox. And if you're not up for going and doing a long, prolonged water fast, I believe that this formulation, not only to cleanse the 5 systems, but also to maintain, like, take a shower every day, right? And for chronic diseases, Daniel's recommending 2 years. So Zencleanz-1 for the gut, Zencleanz-Forgive for the liver, and then there's also for the kidneys for Jing and vitality, and then there's also for the lymph and the blood system as well. And remember, we started this podcast by saying that it's not about adding anything; it's about removing all the barriers. And when that happens, the spontaneous beauty and joy of creator that has created this amazing, beautiful, dynamic vessel can go to work. And I love what Daniel said in the beginning: the spirituality is just a part of who we are, it's not outside of us. And when we cleanse it, we can actually feel the subtle energies of the beauty and miraculous creation that we get to dance in and play in. And so I'm going to leave the link in the podcast show notes for those people who would like to try it out. Zencleanz, I'm a big fan. Daniel, any last remarks or comments you want to leave with our listeners?
No, I just want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about it. To talk about health is very inspiring for me as well. To meet people like you who's on a journey, and sharing knowledge, sharing tools to people to really transform this world that is in great need. and we have all the tools to transform this planet very, very quickly. So I'm just admire you. I'm very happy that you invited me to share with your audience. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Yes.
absolute joy and a pleasure. Yeah, thank
Hmm.
you so much, Daniel. All right, till next time, beautiful, beautiful souls. Love, light, peace, and truth to all sentient beings. New Earth, let's go.
Okay.
Peace.
See you,
All right,
brother.
Daniel, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Okay.